surf or die. You want to build, right, kind of, you want to perpetually be building muscle, strength, well, I guess those are the same, right? Strength, flexibility, and mobility throughout your whole body, right? Because you want to create an optimal surplus of strength and flexibility and mobility so that you don't tax that hamstring again, right? So there's a few ways that we can think about attacking that so that will never happen again, right? Like, how do we build resilient hamstrings? Let's start with free options, working our way from the ground up. If you ever heard of knees over toes guy, he's got this exercise called ROKP. It stands for reversing out of knee pain. And even though it says reversing out of knee pain, why it's super relevant is because it's a toe first exercise. When you walk backwards, the first thing that starts to get strengthened are the toes, right? So it works up the kinetic chain. It goes toes, feet, ankle, Achilles, calf, knees, and goes right into your hips, and that energy transfers up through the spine. So, right, that hamstring is going to be is in that kinetic chain, so that, and right, the body's connected from fingers to toes. So as the strength of your toes increase, as does the strength, in theory, that your hamstring goes up. Okay, so we have ROKP, that's free. If you have access to a treadmill, you could walk backwards, or if you've got some, you find yourself, if it's warm enough where you can ideally walk barefoot, assuming it's in a safe area, on sand or in water, right? In a pool, you could walk backwards. You can walk backwards at your field, whatever. Or if you have a resistance band, you could walk backwards using a resistance band, walk forward, walk backwards, walk forwards. At the gym, if the treadmills are all taken up, you can...
You have it already?
Oh, I don't.
You can use a cable with the attachment that attaches at your hip, so that you walk backwards and forwards. So a lot of variations so that you can start to work backwards. Number 2, I would search Kador Zayani, 7 postures. That's spelled Kadour, space, Zayani, Ziani, 7 postures. He's got hundreds, if not thousands, of videos online. This guy, he's 50 years old. He can dunk on a 10-foot hoop at 50 years old, barefoot.
She's 9 months.
And he's only 5'9". That means he's probably one of the most explosive athletes at the age of 50 years old who can dunk barefoot. That's unheard of. So not only does he talk the talk, but he walks the walk. He shows you with these simple exercises how you can develop strength, flexibility, and mobility, starting with the toes. And it's like, I thought I was an athlete before I started using his 7 postures, but after you start using his 7 postures, you just relate to just the way your toes feel, the way your ankle and your foot feel on the ground. You just feel so strong. I just can't put it into words. So you gotta test it out, right? He's got a book out called 7 Postures. The book is so simple, but it's excellent. I always say it's more than its weight in gold, right? It's priceless. But don't buy the book. Just check out the videos. He's got hundreds, if not thousands, of videos online, and you could just, he shows you all the 7 postures. So that's another great resource. I sent this book to my buddies. I've sent this book to my dad. I've given this to my customers who work at the bar I work at. So, I don't just talk about it and not use it. This is something that I've been doing daily ever since the book came out and ever since I found out about him.
Oh my God.
And the other beautiful thing is that you don't need any tools, right? You don't need any tools, which means it doesn't matter if you're at home, if you're at the gym, if you're at work, if you're at, you could be at the freaking bar. I do it even, not trying to sound like Dr. Seuss, but I do it in my car, assuming I'm not driving a manual transmission car. If you have an automatic car, you could, right, there's sitting postures that really change, and there's such subtle changes in the way you operate, but it creates huge difference, so give that a try. The third thing I want to suggest is search RMT rope plus David Weck. If you're not using an RMT rope for a minute a day, I'm telling you, once you feel the power of this RMT rope, you're never going to look back. An RMT rope is like having a soccer gym at your fingertips for like $10 for your whole entire life. It replaces an entire gym because it's highly transferable to on-field performance. Right, thing about a squat, people go to the gym, they think, okay, if I do a big squat, it's going to translate to me being more explosive. That's not always the case, right? Because there's a recovery period. They might be getting too bulky, so that bulk is going to slow them down in the field. The RMT rope, it's going to improve immediately. You're going to start to feel it's going to improve your juggling. It's going to improve your running mechanics. It's going to help you become more explosive. It's going to prevent non-contact injuries, which is what we're talking about. I just can't tell you how many times how powerful the RMT rope is. So give it a try. Don't take my word for it. Test it. What you want to do is learn the alternating underhand sneak. Search alternating underhand sneak tutorial. It took me 3 days to learn. I was so close to giving up, but I'm telling you, if you make it through, it's a high learning curve because it's very frustrating, and I get frustrated very fast, but I'm telling you, I'm 10 times the player that I was 10 years ago, and the RMT rope is the reason, and no one is talking about this. It will help significantly prevent you from ever having hamstring injuries again, because it's going to put you in different ranges of motion, and it's just going to help you develop dynamic balance, right? That means balance in different ranges of motion in effortless ways. And it's cheap, lightweight, and portable. And for that reason, there's no friction to use. You bring it everywhere you go, you use it everywhere you go. Start with those things. The close fourth suggestion I could suggest is, they say that you spend most of your time in your bed and in your shoes. If you could just change your beds are hard to change, beds are expensive, but shoes, you could change your shoes. I've fallen in love with these shoes. They're called xeroshoes.com. XER shoes, XERO shoes.com. I have no affiliation with them. I wish I did, but I like them. I don't like them. I love them because they're shoes that you could wear out to a nice dinner, and you could and they're minimalist shoes, which means they let your feet expand, which means they allow your toe to have full mobility. They give your ankle full range of motion, and for all those reasons, with each step you take in Xero shoes, your feet get stronger. I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to overwhelm you. Give those things a try. Reach out with any questions. Thank you.